How are you doing, champions? Well, the pandemic hit all of us. All of us lost employees to a certain degree, but now it's a time to get back. If you are somebody who's looking to hire people and spending a lot of time getting good people, then this video is for you. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the sources from where you could hire good quality people and the pitfalls to avoid. Keep watching. Welcome back, champions. My name is Hardik and I make videos to help your business grow. If you think what I say makes sense, and if you feel a one-to-one conversation with me can help you troubleshoot some of your business problems, then all that you need to do is go onto my website, scroll a little down, select the area that you need help on, and answer a few questions. By doing this, you will be able to book a one-on-one consultation call with me for absolutely free. If you want to know what these consultation calls sound and look like, well, there is a link that is going to appear somewhere here. And if you're watching this video on Facebook, you can find that link in the description box. So today I'm going to be sharing with you some sources from where you could get good people, good quality people. And I'm also going to share with you a few pitfalls that you must avoid, mistakes that you must stay away from. So here are the sources. Number one, LinkedIn. Yes, my friends, LinkedIn is a brilliant source to get good people, especially if you're looking at supervisors, managers, senior managers, then LinkedIn is the go-to place for you. In LinkedIn, when you post a job profile, people apply on that job profile. Along with that, LinkedIn will also show you tons of resumes, tons of profiles that match your selection criteria. And that way, you could be proactive reaching to those profiles and get the guy who you really want. The second source is pretty obvious. Job portals, Naukri.com, jobmonster.com, and there are several others. All you need to do is just go on there, filter what you require, and those profiles will come back. Thing to keep in mind there is you should always look at the profiles that are recently updated, because those are the guys who updated their profile and are looking for a job. That way it becomes faster for you to get the good guy in your business. The third source is engaging professional recruiters. And this, my friend, is one of my favorite ones. And I'll tell you why. See, if you go on LinkedIn, if you go on job portals, you got to do all the work. You got to talk to people, see if they are genuinely looking for a job. So that means a lot of phone calls. And then you got to weed out profiles out of the hundreds that you get. You got to weed out the ones that you don't want to talk to and then talk to only a few. So that's another job. After you speak to a profile and call that person for an interview, you got to coordinate that. And we all know that if we call 10 people for interview, only 2 or 3 turn up. And that too only when you're lucky. So if you want to avoid all of this coordination, then recruiters will do all of this work for you. Besides, there is another very big advantage. When you go on job portals yourself, you pay. When you go on LinkedIn to put a profile or hunt for a profile, you pay. But when you go for recruiters, you pay them only when they give you a profile and you hire them. The fourth source from where you could get good profiles is by encouraging employee referrals. Now, employee referrals is also something that I really like. Why? Because let's say you have a salesperson in your team and you want to hire another salesperson. This salesperson exactly knows what kind of salesperson will be suited for that kind of role because he is doing that role himself. And he will also be able to get the kinds who will work with him as a team, and he will not look at it as competition. In smaller businesses, when there is one person or 2 people in an organization in one department, getting a third one is like almost getting an outsider in. So you have to juggle a lot after even getting the profile in. All of that you can avoid if you can encourage employee referrals. Now, one way of doing that is by incentivizing people to get you a good profile. They will earn money and you will get a person, and both of you will be happy to work with that person because one, that person is qualified. Second, that person is already a friend or a known connect of the people in the same department. So that brings me to the second part of this topic, which is the pitfalls that you must avoid. The number one pitfall that you must avoid is looking for a profile that does not exist on planet Earth. So if you're looking for somebody who's a sales guy and can do tally also, there is no such profile in the world. You either have an accounting profile that knows tally, or you have a sales profile that knows how to do sales. Even when it comes to sales, it is not possible to get a profile that is happy doing telecalling, happy prospecting on LinkedIn, and also happy to go on the field. All of these three things require different skill sets. Even if a person says yes to a profile that has that requires one to do all the three, remember he's going to use the time to do LinkedIn prospecting or to do telecalling as a time off work. He's going to use that time because he's tired to go on the field. And you don't want people like that. You want people who put 100% in what they do. So if the person is spending all 8 hours doing one thing, he becomes an expert. When you look out for profiles who can do multiple things, you don't know who to search for. And that becomes a problem. So don't do that. Look out for people that exist on the planet Earth. The second thing that you must absolutely do and not avoid doing this is when you appoint a recruiter, because I mentioned that appointing a professional recruiter is my favorite choice. I'm sure a lot of you would do that. But when you appoint a recruiter, ask that recruiter if they have researched and found and closed such a profile. And this is very, very important to do. This is very, very important to ask, and only give the work to those recruiters who have done a profile like that in the past. And I'll tell you why this is important. Recruiters don't charge you upfront. So the way their business works is they will try and focus on the work that they get, and they would prioritize the work that they know and have the expertise to close first. So chances are when you recruit a person who has not worked on a profile, you have to be sure that he's not going to prioritize your work over the other profiles that he may be getting from several other companies that he has closed in the past, because he wants to get revenue. So he is looking at closing things that he's closed already and he knows how to close. So if this profile that you're giving him is a new profile, chances are he does not have that kind of confidence. So he's going to pick up that work only when the other simple work that he can close and has an experience is done. So make sure you ask your recruiter if they have closed the kind of profile that you want to close, and only then work with them. The third thing that you got to do with the recruiters is when you tell them this is the profile that you want, tell them what are the companies which already have such profiles in their teams. And you must give them at least 5 such companies. See, when it comes to recruiter, the recruiter is like a back office department. Treat it like that. Of course, they do have an expertise to filter people. They have an expertise to use the job portals. But what you have to do is feed them with right information to make their job easy. Remember the previous point, if you make their job easy and if they are becoming successful because of insights you have given, they will work on your profile faster because they earn from your profiles. So make sure you give them at least 5 companies that already have the kind of profiles that you're looking for, and therefore it will make their work easy. Help them to help you better. The fourth thing that you must do when you're going to recruit people is give the recruiter a day and a time when you are ready for taking interviews. This works in a lot of ways. When they are prioritizing their work and searches, they are going to prioritize keeping in mind the date and the time that you've given. If they miss out on that day and time, you have to say them, no, I cannot do these interviews. Why? Because if you don't do that, the message that you're giving the recruiter is they can work and search for profiles and send it to you any time of the week. And that will mean they are not going to prioritize. So a date and time given is kind of helping them create a deadline in their heads that this is when I'm supposed to give it. If I don't give it, I'm going to miss out. And they will start working against that deadline. One more very, very important pitfall that most people end up doing is letting the recruiter negotiate the salary on your behalf. You should never ever do that. That's like a crime. Why? Because remember this, recruiter gets paid a percentage of the compensation that of the person that you recruit. The greater the compensation, the greater his fees. Now you are asking the same guy to negotiate the salary. Technically, you are asking somebody to negotiate his own earnings himself. That's never going to happen, right? And a lot of times, a good recruitment profile, a good profile that you could have recruited, you may end up losing that profile because of this negotiation. So if you want to close on a profile, you are the one who's supposed to negotiate and close it, and simply inform the recruiter this has been done. Last but not the least, very, very important pitfall. If you go outside of the recruiter as a source, if you go to LinkedIn or job portals or try and do something yourself, remember to designate a person in your company who can do all of that work. There is no point in taking a job portal account and then not having anybody to vet through, to call, to coordinate and do that. A lot of times I see small business owners think that, 8.33% which the recruiter is going to charge is heavier than me taking a login ID on a job portal. But what they miss out on, when you take an ID on job portal, yes, it's lesser than 8.33 of the compensation that you're going to pay. But if you don't have the people to use that, or if you are going to get involved in doing that, imagine the number of resources and the kind of resources that you're putting to do that work. If you look at all of that, you will realize that taking a login ID on a job portal yourself and making a resource spend some time doing that instead of doing what the other stuff is, or you doing that instead of you strategizing for the growth of your business, you're spending more. So if you have a resource that has spare time and is going to do all of that back office coordination work, which is really not adding any direct revenue to your business, don't go for the other options. So since you've reached so far in the video, I'm sure you liked it. So don't be a miser, go and hit that like button. Every time you hit that like button, I feel very, very nice. You help me, you encourage me to make videos and answer the burning questions that you have for your business. Do share this video with everybody else. You don't need to make such videos to help others. But if you share such videos with your friends who are entrepreneurs and who are struggling with such things, they are going to bless you. And of course, if you've not subscribed to this channel yet, go hit that subscribe button. If you're watching this video on Facebook, go on to my Facebook page and like it so that every time I put a video, whether on YouTube or on Facebook, you don't miss it. So until we meet next time, keep learning, keep implementing, and keep propelling.